Good evening and welcome to the August edition of the Niceville Valparaiso Chamber of Commerce Business Forum. We got a great show for you, so make sure you stay tuned for the whole thing. First up, we have Southern Capital Insurance. We have Craig Barbee and Kerry Barbee, and they're with Southern Capital. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you all
Glad
in
to be
town.
here.
So, Mr. Barbee, how long has your agency been around?
My agency's been around since I opened up in 1998. We expanded over to Crestview in 2002.
Where did you start?
We started in Bonifay, Florida, moved to Crestview, Florida, and then moved down to Niceville, Florida 2 years ago.
Awesome.
So
is it difficult being spread out like that?
It is. It is. It's still challenging, but you know, it's good to have the claims office in Bonifay, Florida, which is our central hub for when we had to handle large cat claims.
Sure.
So logistics, yeah, it's tough, but it still makes sense. You know, we were able to serve different communities, which is great.
And the Panhandle's kind of its own world anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
From an insurance standpoint, I'm getting ready to secede from the rest of the state. I think.
We would love to be part of Alabama.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's get that motion going. What types of insurances do you provide to your customers?
We provide auto, homeowners, commercial, life insurance. We run pretty much
run the gamut, don't you?
Full house of.
And you have quite a few carriers, I'm sure, that you represent. Do you want to name a few of those?
Certainly. Of course, Nationwide is our major carrier that we have. We have, of course, Progressive, Travelers Insurance. On the home side, Olympus, St. John's, Tower Hill.
And the state's favorite Citizens.
And the state favorite Citizens.
Fastest growing insurance company in the state. God bless them. We'll talk a little bit more about that
Citizens,
in a minute. Yeah, speaking of that, are any big changes going on right now? You know, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, and with mortgage rates going on, and right now, as we're taping, I think the stock market is plummeting 240
More than
points.
200
More than 200
before we
opening.
walked in.
Yeah,
yes.
Washington can't make up their mind. But there's a lot going on with homeowners insurance in the state of Florida too, isn't there?
There is.
A lot of challenges.
A lot of challenges. You'll see Citizens has just requested a 20% increase, and we're going to see that from the other carriers as well. And a lot of that has to do with sinkhole. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of that activity here in the Panhandle, but things that involve and happen in the central and southern parts of Florida, we have to.
You know, we get that question every day. People come in and say, "Why is my rate going up?" We haven't had a
hurricane
since 2005. Knock on wood. Where's that?
Knock on wood.
Why don't we bust
Exactly.
with that?
But a lot of that stems from sinkhole. You know, having
sinkhole coverage, sinkhole claims. A lot of us now is competition with carriers.
Yeah.
There's not as many carriers in the state of Florida as there was maybe 15 years ago.
Heck, there's not as many last year. I think
Probably
we lost 3
not.
or 4 of them this year.
And, you know, the major carriers aren't here anymore. You
Sure.
know, and they're not taking on new business. Less competition is going to lead to higher rates, and it's important to realize that.
So sinkhole, and I guess folks need to understand that we're tied with the rest of the state, like it or not.
It's a pooled risk.
It's a pooled risk. We need a law of large numbers to get things working, and unfortunately, some of our large numbers are in the south part of the state.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which brings us to another interesting conversation. What's going on with auto rates? Because we've seen homeowners rates are going up because of sinkholes. What's happening with auto rates?
You're seeing auto rates starting to creep up a little bit. It's going to take a little slow. The companies haven't taken a rate. They've been very, very cautious about rates. But the PIP fraud in South Florida, in the peninsula of Florida, is areas of concern.
Sure.
So what it's going to do is it's going to affect our rates up here in the Panhandle, just like it affects their rates down there. Also, you're seeing carriers now saying, hey, we don't want to write in South Florida anymore, but we like the Panhandle, so the risks are changing. Or carriers are just saying, hey, we don't want to write in Florida at all until they get this PIP fraud thing figured out. Because as you know and I know, you know, it costs the insurance companies lots of money to investigate fraud.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And unfortunately, I was reading an article in one of the journals just the other day that Florida has the distinction of owning 2 of the top 5 cities for fraud, Tampa and Miami.
Right.
So we lucked out with 2 of them. None of them anywhere near us, but of course, like we talked about, the law of large numbers, we're going to be pulled in with that risk. So we're going to sell our own autos. There's got to be some things folks can do to help control their cost of insurance. What kind of things can they do to do that?
On the homeowner side, they can definitely look at the rates, look at their deductible. You know, you don't have to have a $500 deductible on everything besides hurricanes. You can also have a $1,000 deductible or $2,500 deductible, you really don't want to claim anything under $1,000 any which way, so you might as well up the deductible on your homeowners. So that way you're going to take a decrease in premium.
Sure, because the companies are going to look at multiple claims, so you might as well bump it up to $1,000 anyway.
Why not?
Absolutely.
If you had not had the Florida My Safe Home discount added to your homeowner's policy, if your house is built 2002 and older, you may want to look into if you have hurricane clips. That does provide a discount to the insurance on the home side.
Sure, and that just involves an inspection, doesn't it?
That's an inspection. That's
not
that
very
easy.
expensive.
$100.
Yeah.
$100 could save you $400 or $500 a year on your home insurance.
And I don't know if your experience is the same as mine, but I've never ever had anyone do that inspection and not get their $100 back the first year, much less all the years afterwards.
It's well worth it.
It's been the best thing that the state's done for the insurers, for the people.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So the wind mitigation inspection obviously is worthwhile, and like you said, work on deductibles and look around, because there are sweet spots with every company, isn't there?
There are. Some people want to insure in the Panhandle, and they'll be very competitive on rates. Other times they won't be competitive on rates, and they want to dilute what they have in the Panhandle. So rates, as you know, go up and down depending on what the carrier is looking for at that specific time.
And they use some wind modeling to come up with these rates, and the last iteration of wind models actually were really favorable for the Panhandle and not very nice to the Orlando world. So so we might see, I would hope we would see some of that roll into our rates.
We would love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just want to keep seeing them take right-hand turns out there, just keep spinning off into the Atlantic and stay away from us for a while.
High pressure zone. God bless them. I love them. I love them. Yeah. We call that in the box when it gets into that Gulf of Mexico, and then of course we pretty much can't write anything anywhere. So
might as well just shut down.
And did you notice they're getting more cautious? It used to be if it hit Miami, they'd leave us alone, but now if it's going to touch the state,
soon as Citizen says no more writing, the little red sign comes up, we're shut down for the day. And that's important for people buying a house. You need to be aware of where these storms are at, because they could delay closing by 30 days.
Absolutely.
We've seen in the 2004 hurricane season where we weren't able to write for month, 2 months at a time, as they were coming through.
In our business, we call that buying claims.
Right.
We got to, and then usually we had to take a picture or two of the home to show that it was still standing.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah, still standing, so that we know.
So,
if folks wanted to get in touch with you for getting a quote either on their auto or their home or their business, how would they get in touch with y'all?
Go ahead. Our Niceville location, our phone number is 389-2001. Crestview location is 689-2115. And our Bonifay location is 537-2151.
Did we get it right?
Or at SouthernCapitalInsurance.com.
SouthernCapitalInsurance.
SouthernCapitalInsurance.com. Well, welcome to the Chamber, and sure do appreciate y'all moving into Niceville. I think it's going to be a great experience for you. It's great people. It's a great community.
It's a great community.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you around.
All right.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Next up, we have Ms. Teresa Halverson, the Director of Marketing and Admissions from the Manor at Blue Water Bay. And they're going to tell us what's going on there, so don't go away.